the future does not look bright for France. I've been talking about this for years, not just for France, but for Western Europe. While thousands of people were marching peacefully in Paris protesting a new security law, anarchists created chaos and anarchy in the streets of Paris by destroying storefronts, destroying random cars parked on the streets, violently interacting with the police, and even throwing Molotov cocktails at them. This violence and destruction is not about protesting a law, but about creating anarchy in France. According to the news in Paris, these riots are part of a protest against new legislation that would have created a new criminal offense for publishing images of police officers with intent to cause them harm. However, President Macron's administration has since pledged to rewrite the law following the riots across the country. And despite Macron's promise to rewrite the law, opponents have pledged to continue to protest until it is removed completely. And we see continuous protests for 2 weeks in a row. But looking at the protests, it is not the normative citizens protesting the government bill who are the problem, but the various groups of anarchists and terror supporters who have come together to destroy normative life for Frenchmen. You see communist flags flying by the rioters, PLO, which is Palestine Liberation Organization flags, seeing there as well, meaning Muslim anti-Israel activists were also part of this rioting, and of course many people wearing and flying the symbols of Antifa, whose sole purpose is anarchy to destroy Western society as we know it. So all these groups of violent rioters came together, and they don't really care about the Macron law. They care about destroying France, Western Europe, and Western society as we know it. Now, back in 2014, I told my wife that I wanted to take her to Paris because I told her that soon Paris would be too dangerous to visit ever again. Like, she studied art history back in college and always thought about one day seeing and visiting the art museums in Paris. I knew that if we wouldn't go in 2014, we probably will never be able to go visit again because of the developing violence in Paris even back then. So we went. At the time, the growing Muslim immigrant population was making life more dangerous in France for everybody, but definitely with a huge uptick in Jew hatred attacks against the local French Jews. Thankfully, we went at the time. And during our 3-day visit, actually a Muslim terrorist threw a Molotov cocktail at a Jewish sushi restaurant. Besides that one incident, the trip went smoothly and we had a wonderful time. We weren't affected at all by that terror attack on the sushi restaurant. Now that was back in 2014. I did not know then that within only a few years, the growing violence of the radical Muslim population in France would be joined by groups of leftist anarchists, Antifa, making the situation even worse than I had imagined then. Today, they're all acting together. This is bad for France, bad for Western Europe, and extremely dangerous for the whole freedom-loving world.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.